Hello and welcome. I am Gar1onriva and today I am joined by a guest. I'm joined today by Moo.
Hello.
And these are our top 5 sci-fi games. So for this list, this is based on the sci-fi in the games rather than which are the best games that have sci-fi in them. So 3 things to remember. First of all, these are our personal opinions, so please don't tell us we're wrong. These are limited only to the ones we've played or seen enough of to really judge. And we won't be giving any spoilers, so please don't put any spoilers in the comments. Because we're going through essentially 10 different things, this will be a 2-parter, with this one being 5 through 3, and then the next one being numbers 2 and 1. We're going to start off with Moo's number 5.
XCOM 2. And I've gone for this because the setting for it is one I haven't really seen before. It's rather than you're trying to defend Earth from an alien invasion, Earth's already fallen to an alien invasion, and you're now part of a resistance trying to liberate the Earth. And the way the game builds up and you find out what the aliens are actually doing is just something quite unique I've found, and the gameplay itself is great, and then the sci-fi setting is also quite original. So that's why it's number 5 for me.
I've not played XCOM 2. I played a fair bit of XCOM 1, but I always sort of get bored after a certain bit. I find it sort of interesting, the what are they called? The little robots that you can have on your team.
Yeah, you can have like small drones and stuff assisting you, which is, again, something that's very sci-fi intended, and it's another quite unique thing. Usually it's just you have people and they die by the droves.
I mean, I'm one of those people who always plays it like, if one of my guys dies, I reload the save.
Oh, save's coming.
Wow.
That's what it's called.
Wow. Okay, and on that note, we'll move on. Geran's number 5. Half-Life 2. I absolutely love the lore of the Half-Life universe, Portal included. And before Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which I'm sort of counting in this because really it's the whole universe rather than any one particular game, but I feel the Half-Life games are a better example of the sci-fi in their universe. And in Half-Life 2 Episode 2, you get the first solid link that's beyond an actual Easter egg. Something where the Borealis, something that has been sort of confirmed in both the Portal games and in Half-Life as something important. The Borealis, the Combine, the Combine's living weapons like the Strider, the dropship, as well as all the sort of Portal stuff from Portal. This universe has some fascinating ideas of sci-fi. And I really want to play Half-Life 3, not because, Half-Life 2 was the best game ever and Half-Life 3 therefore will be, but because I really want to continue this story. I want to see what the Borealis actually has on it, because I have so many theories from all the years I've been waiting to play Half-Life 3.
It's a brilliant one. The setting for it is great, and the game itself is great. And it is one of those that I think will stay a classic, and people will take inspiration from, like you say, the living dropships, the look of the Combine. You see it influences quite a lot of things even today.
Moo's number 4.
Stellaris. This is a 4X grand strategy game, but it's a fairly new one, and it's quite a rare breed of them. And the sci-fi of it is amazing. There's so much depth you can go into with your own race and other races, and it plays out like Star Trek in space, except you can be the evil Klingons murdering people in the thousands. You can form your own federations. You could do whatever you like in it, and the game will just go along with you and build this story up of your own civilization, or the game will screw you and destroy your civilization. And it's sort of they're pretty much Star Trek simulator in that regard.
I have absolutely no experience with Stellaris. I've never played it. I've never spoken to anyone who's sort of talked about it, so I really have no thoughts on that one, I'm afraid. Geran's number 4. Fallout 4. While Fallout New Vegas is my favourite by a mile of the Fallout franchise, the sci-fi in it is much less pronounced. It's sort of replaced by sort of the Western themes. And Old World Blues goes into a lot of the sci-fi, but it is very much, I don't know, is pastiche the right word? It's sort of a parody of sci-fi in stuff. Like with the giant robot scorpions and stuff. It is just made to be funny rather than to be proper sci-fi. And that's why Fallout 4 stands out for me as sci-fi in Fallout. Because it adds the Institute and synths. And it took me a long time to really understand synths, and I had to be standing in the bloody production centre where you see them being built before I understood that they aren't robots, they aren't Terminators, you know, they aren't an endoskeleton with skin on them. They are actual artificial people. And it just blew my mind when I realised that. And yeah, they are mass produced. And the synths are fantastic, but add to that the fleshed out power armor with the frame and the different pieces and stuff. And to me, it has the best sci-fi so far in the Fallout series.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The sci-fi in Fallout 4 is pretty great. From just the aesthetics to the setting, the new kinds of weapons, and like I say, the power armor, the synths being more of a mechanical threat than before, where it's always either humans or monsters. Now it's a futuristic version of what's going to destroy us this time.
And the aliens again popped up. To be honest, this is the first Fallout game I've played where I've actually found the aliens. I have Mothership Zeta for Fallout 3, but I've not actually played it yet. Yeah, I found the alien, and that's just sort of there. They always feel more like Easter eggs than sort of an actual part, but yeah, Fallout 4, best sci-fi of the Fallout series so far. Moo's number 3.
Dawn of War.
Ooh.
And this one is not its own sci-fi universe, I will admit, but it is one of the best interpretations I have found in using the Warhammer 40,000 universe. And it captures the feeling of it so well, with having huge armies just beat the crap out of each other. And yet the setting for it is obviously the Warhammer 40,000 themes, which has so much depth to it itself. And then this game came along and created its own chapter, I believe, which is the Blood Ravens, and they're now canon. And they came from this game. And when you go places to see Warhammer 40k, you see Blood Ravens. So that's how big of an impact this game has had on not only Warhammer 40,000 games, but Warhammer 40,000 itself.
My main problem with it, but I mean, partially, I'm not even sure if it should count in this list, because it isn't sort of the sci-fi from the game itself. It's just like leeching off something else. Then again, I suppose Lord of the Rings would count as a sci-fi, as a fantasy movie. So maybe it does count. But anyway, I don't really like the 40k sci-fi, because it's done in this, I mean, it's all encapsulated by dark gothic. Everything is dark gothic, which is partly why I like the Tau. But I mean, it's a good game, and it's sort of the best 40k game we've ever had. But I don't know. I think there are much better sci-fi than the 40k universe.
Yeah, for the 40k sci-fi, I think that's a good one, because everything is so dark and dreary, and everyone is doomed. There is no salvation in that universe, and yet they still cling to it, and they're trying to save themselves constantly.
Yeah, but that's the bit I don't like. There is absolutely no salvation. Everyone's screwed. Goodbye forever.
Well, that's the bit I like. There isn't always a win situation.
No, but I mean, I get the not always a win situation, but this is, you know, there is never a win situation for the entirety of creation. I don't know. I'm just not nihilistic enough to like that. Geran's number 3, Subnautica. Aside from its beautiful and really freaking creepy visuals, the entire game of Subnautica is pure sci-fi. From fabrication of items and buildings and vehicles, you're on an alien world with alien life bloody everywhere, plants and fish and bigger fish and even bigger fish and absolutely freaking, oh god, get out of its way, massive fish. And it's just got such a wonderful, clean aesthetic. Like the round domes and the white floors. I love that kind of aesthetic. And I was really into Subnautica for a while, and I read a lot on the wiki and the like, and there is a lot deeper lore that is going to be added into Subnautica that isn't currently in it, but they keep hinting at it, and I love what they're building with it. It is only early access, but it's just so fascinating to me, I guess.
It's one I've personally never played. I've heard lots of good things about it, but yeah, this is one it skipped by me.
And that is all for part 1. We have run out of time, so we'll be coming back to do parts 2 and 1 for the top 5 sci-fi games. If you have any suggestions for future top or bottom 5s, please let us know in the comments, and your thoughts on our 5 through 3s. Remember that you can always vote for next month's top 5 by pledging to my Patreon, linked in the description. Thank you very much for watching, thank you to Moo for joining.
Goodbye.
And we'll catch you next time.